Most people spend their lives chasing comfort, believing that if they can just get to a place where things are easy, they've made it. But the truth is, comfort is the silent killer of growth. It whispers to you that you're okay where you are. It convinces you that pushing harder isn't necessary, that taking risks isn't worth it, that settling is safe. But what comfort doesn't tell you is that every time you choose it over challenge, you rob yourself of becoming who you're meant to be. Comfort zones are seductive. They feel warm, familiar, and safe, but they're also deceptive. They mask potential, dull ambition, and numb the fire within you. Growth, on the other hand, is uncomfortable. It's messy. It demands effort, but it's also where life begins to expand. Every major breakthrough, every personal evolution comes not in moments of ease, but in moments of resistance. Think about a seed. In its natural state, it's closed off. But once it's planted and the soil begins pressing against it, it starts to break. It doesn't look pretty. There's pressure, there's friction, there's change. But that breaking is necessary for it to become what it was designed to be. You are no different. That friction you're feeling, that pressure in your life, that's not a sign to quit. It's a sign that growth is happening. The uncomfortable truth is that nothing worthwhile comes without some level of discomfort. We all want the reward, but few are willing to endure the process. We want strength, but avoid struggle. We want wisdom, but run from pain. But strength is built through resistance. Wisdom is born from hard-earned experience. The very things we try to avoid are the things that shape us. When you make decisions based on what's comfortable, you choose stagnation. But when you make decisions based on what will stretch you, even if it scares you, you choose transformation. The question is, do you want to be comfortable or do you want to grow? Because you can't have both. Let's be honest, growth hurts. It forces you to confront your weaknesses. It brings your insecurities to the surface. It demands that you let go of old habits, old mindsets, and sometimes even old relationships. But every time you endure the discomfort of growth, you gain something far more powerful than ease. You gain strength, you gain clarity, you gain character, you gain momentum. You don't need to have it all figured out to start growing. You just need to take the next right step. Maybe for you, that means waking up earlier. Maybe it means having that hard conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's finally chasing that dream that keeps you up at night. Whatever it is, don't wait for things to feel easy. They won't, and they're not supposed to. Look back at your life. The moments that changed you, that taught you something, that shaped your character, were they easy? Probably not. Growth is forged in the fire of challenge. It's in those moments when you wanted to give up, but didn't, when you were afraid, but moved forward anyway, when you were knocked down, but chose to rise again. Those are the moments that define you. And here's something powerful to understand. Comfort is addictive. The more you choose it, the harder it becomes to escape, but growth is contagious. Once you start chasing progress and see what you're capable of, you'll never want to go back. The hunger for improvement, for becoming more, begins to take over, and soon your discomfort becomes your training ground. Life will always present you with two doors, one marked easy and one marked growth. One offers the illusion of safety. The other offers the opportunity for greatness. Don't be the person who looks back years from now wondering what could have been if only they had chosen differently. Choose the door that leads somewhere new, somewhere higher, somewhere better. Understand this. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you break the limitations you once believed were permanent. You begin to live not based on fear, but on faith. Faith in your potential, faith in the process, faith that the struggle is worth it, because it is. The reward on the other side of discomfort is not just achievement, it's alignment with your purpose. So don't settle for a life that's merely comfortable. You weren't created for average. You weren't made to just survive. You were made to thrive, to expand, to evolve. You were born to grow, and growth demands that you get uncomfortable. Let this be the moment you stop playing small. Let this be the moment you stop running from resistance and start leaning into it. Let this be the moment you make a decision, not based on how easy something is, but on how much it will grow you. Because at the end of the day, comfort will never give you what growth can. There's a reason why pain shows up in every significant season of growth. It's not there to destroy you, but to develop you. Most people run from pain, resist it, try to numb it, or avoid it altogether. But what if the very thing you're trying to escape is the thing that's meant to elevate you? What if your pain has a purpose? We often pray for strength, but hope the process skips the struggle. We ask for wisdom, but want to avoid the experiences that make us wise. We desire purpose, but shrink back when life starts to shake our comfort. But growth and purpose are never found in the easy seasons. They're discovered in the tension, in the stretching, in the fire. Pain is not your enemy. It's a messenger. It's trying to teach you, shape you, and redirect you. Every hardship you've faced, every disappointment, every heartbreak has carried something more than just suffering. It carried a seed of purpose, something planted deep within you that only the soil of adversity could cultivate. Look back at some of the most painful moments in your life. At the time, they may have felt unfair, unbearable, or even impossible to get through. But what came out of those seasons? Maybe it was resilience. Maybe it was compassion. Maybe it was a new direction. Maybe it was simply a deeper understanding of who you are and what you're capable of. Pain strips away the surface level version of us and reveals something deeper, something stronger. You see, pain has a way of clearing out the noise. When everything is easy, we coast. We lose our hunger, we lose our focus. But when life presses in, we're forced to confront what really matters. We're forced to prioritize. We're forced to dig deeper than we ever thought we could. And in that process, we become more. We become more disciplined. We become more intentional. We become more spiritually grounded. Pain makes us pay attention to what we've been ignoring. It calls out the areas that need healing and the habits that need changing. And if we let it, pain can be the catalyst for the greatest transformation of our lives. Too often we see pain as punishment, but pain is often preparation. It's preparing you for what's next. It's building something in you that success alone never could. Because you can't carry greatness with a fragile spirit. You can't carry purpose with an entitled mindset. You can't lead others if you haven't learned how to persevere through pressure yourself. Your pain is producing something deeper than the surface. It's producing character. When you're in pain, it's easy to feel like you're alone, like no one sees your struggle or understands what you're carrying. But the truth is, your pain connects you to people in ways your success never will. It gives you compassion. It gives you empathy. It gives you a story. And that story, your testimony, is someone else's survival guide. Don't waste your pain. Don't numb it or bury it or pretend it doesn't exist. Sit with it. Learn from it. Let it do its work in you. Because if you don't process pain, you'll project it. But if you let it transform you, it will prepare you for the weight of what's coming. There are lessons in pain that you can't learn any other way. Lessons about patience, lessons about trust, lessons about faith, lessons about surrender. These aren't just emotional shifts. These are the roots that anchor you when the storms of life hit, and they will hit. But when they do, you won't break. You'll bend. You'll adapt. You'll grow. God never wastes pain. Even if you don't see it now, there's a thread running through your story that will eventually make sense. The closed doors, the betrayals, the delays, they weren't punishments. They were preparations. They were redirections. They were reminders that your strength doesn't come from everything going right. It comes from trusting even when it doesn't. The truth is, the pain you're in right now might just be the birthplace of the version of you that's ready for what's next. The most powerful versions of people are not the ones who've never been hurt. They're the ones who've been broken, but chose to heal. They're the ones who've been knocked down, but refused to stay there. They're the ones who felt pain and chose to grow through it instead of go around it. Every great story has a valley, but the valley isn't the end. It's the training ground. The pain is temporary, but what it's producing in you can last a lifetime. A deeper strength, a stronger vision, a clearer mission. That's what pain can give you if you let it. So don't curse the pain. Don't rush through the process. Don't despise the dark seasons. There's purpose in every tear, every setback, every silent night when you wondered if it was all worth it, because it is. You're being shaped, not shattered. You're being refined, not ruined. Let this season work for you. Let your pain be the reason you rise, not the excuse you retreat. Because when you understand that your pain has a purpose, you stop fighting it and start flowing with it. And that's when true growth begins. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Yet most people trade what they want most for what feels good in the moment. They chase comfort, distraction, and ease and wonder why they never arrive at the life they dream about. But growth demands that you choose differently. You cannot become the person you're called to be by doing what's easy. You become that person by doing what's necessary again and again, even when it's hard. Choosing discipline over ease isn't glamorous. It doesn't always get applause. It's not loud, flashy, or fun. Discipline happens in the quiet spaces, in the daily decisions no one else sees. It's waking up when your body wants to sleep in. It's showing up when your emotions are screaming to stay home. It's staying committed when everything in you wants to quit. But those moments, those small, faithful choices are what separate average from extraordinary. We live in a world obsessed with instant results. If it doesn't happen fast, people give up. If it doesn't feel good, they walk away. But anything meaningful takes time. It takes repetition. It takes consistency. And that's what discipline is. The consistent commitment to the process, even when the outcome hasn't shown up yet. There will be days when discipline feels like a burden, when your mind tells you it's pointless, when progress feels invisible, when no one is watching, no one is clapping, and nothing seems to be changing. But that's exactly when discipline matters most. Because those days are building something in you that success never could. Grit. And grit is what gets you through when motivation fades, because motivation is emotional. Discipline is foundation. It's easy to be motivated when the vision is fresh and the journey is new. But what about 6 months in, when it gets repetitive? What about when the results don't match the effort? What about when you're tired, discouraged, and tempted to settle? That's when you need discipline to rise and remind you of why you started in the first place. There is a version of you that you haven't met yet, a stronger, wiser, more focused version. But you won't meet that version by chasing what's easy. You'll meet them on the other side of daily discipline. You'll meet them in the early mornings and late nights, in the sacrifices made and the habits repeated. You'll meet them in the spaces where you did what was required, not what was convenient. Ease feels good in the moment, but it leaves you empty in the end. It gives you temporary satisfaction, but steals your long-term success. Discipline, on the other hand, may cost you now, but it pays you later. It builds a life you can be proud of. It creates a foundation that won't crumble under pressure. It gives you a sense of dignity, knowing you've earned what you have. And the beauty of discipline is this: you don't have to feel ready to be committed. You just have to decide. Discipline isn't about emotion, it's about decision. It's waking up every day and choosing your future over your feelings, choosing your purpose over your preference, choosing what builds you instead of what breaks you. You might not control everything in life, but you do control your habits. You control your focus. You control how you show up, how you prepare, and how you respond. And those choices over time shape your destiny. Every disciplined action you take today is a seed planted for the harvest you'll reap tomorrow. People often ask, how do I become more confident? The answer is simple. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Confidence isn't built through comfort. It's built through consistency. When you tell yourself you're going to do something and then you follow through, even when it's hard, your self-respect grows. And over time, so does your belief in what's possible. But don't confuse discipline with perfection. You're going to miss a day. You'll fall short sometimes. That's not failure, that's life. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about getting back up one more time than you fall. It's about recommitting after you mess up, because true discipline isn't measured by how perfectly you perform. It's measured by how relentlessly you pursue. And so what does this look like in real life? It's choosing to exercise when it would be easier to watch TV. It's reading a book instead of scrolling through your phone. It's spending time in reflection or prayer instead of numbing your mind with noise. It's investing in your goals daily, even if no one else sees the effort, because in the end, the result isn't for them, it's for you. When you live with discipline, you stop reacting to life and start directing it. You don't wait for opportunity, you prepare for it. You don't hope things work out, you work things out. You take ownership of your growth, your mindset, your habits, and that kind of life doesn't just happen by accident, it happens on purpose. So if you want to grow, stop asking what's easy and start asking what's required. Stop looking for shortcuts and start building staying power. Because ease might bring you pleasure, but discipline brings you power. And it's that power that will carry you to the life you were always meant to live. The person you are today is not equipped to handle the future you've been praying for. The vision you have for your life, the impact you want to make, the legacy you want to leave, the purpose you want to fulfill requires a stronger, wiser, and more disciplined version of you. And that version is only born through growth. It's created not in comfort, but in challenge. Not in ease, but in effort. If you truly want to step into the future you were designed for, you must become someone capable of holding it. We often ask for bigger opportunities, greater influence, or deeper meaning in life. But what we don't always realize is that every blessing comes with a burden. Every level of elevation demands a greater level of preparation. That's why growth is not optional. It's essential. The future doesn't wait for the unprepared. It doesn't pause for the one who wants to stay the same. It moves forward, and either you evolve with it or you get left behind. It's easy to admire successful people and think they just got lucky or had some special advantage, but most of the time what separates them from everyone else isn't talent, It's transformation. It's the inner work they were willing to do long before the rewards showed up. It's the sacrifices they made in private, the hours they invested when no one was watching, the decisions they made to rise when others stayed the same. That future version of you, confident, focused, resilient, isn't waiting in the distance. It's being built in the present. With every challenge you face, every uncomfortable decision you make, every new discipline you choose, you are shaping the person who can carry your calling. But you can't become that person by clinging to the old you. You have to be willing to let go. Let go of excuses. Let go of toxic pattern, and let go of the need for everything to be easy. Growth begins the moment you decide that staying the same is no longer acceptable. It's not just about working harder, it's about working on you, because success that outgrows your character is never sustainable. You can't carry a big vision with small habits. You can't lead others if you haven't learned how to lead yourself. The truth is, the future will stretch you, test you, and demand more from you than your current version can deliver. And that's a good thing. That means you're being called higher. That means there's more in you. That means you're not finished. So instead of asking, why is this so hard? Start asking, what is this preparing me for? The struggles you're facing today might just be training for the role you're meant to step into tomorrow. The frustration you feel, the resistance you're facing, the pressure weighing on you, it's all part of your development. Growth is never accidental. It's intentional. You don't drift into greatness. You decide to become great, and then you do the work, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. There will be moments when you question yourself, moments when the path ahead looks uncertain and the pain feels unnecessary. But those are the moments that matter most, because they're shaping your mindset. They're teaching you to trust the process. They're forming the strength you'll need, not just to get to the next level, but to stay there when you arrive. And this isn't just about achieving more, it's about becoming more. The future you deserve isn't just successful, it's whole. It's grounded in purpose, led by values, and fueled by discipline. That's why this season of growth is so important. It's forming the foundation that everything else will be built upon. If you rush it, if you resist it, you'll miss the very transformation that was designed to prepare you for what's next. You might not feel ready. That's okay. Growth doesn't require perfection. It requires progress. Just take the next step. Just keep showing up. Keep learning. Keep stretching. Keep letting go of who you were so you can become who you're meant to be. The future isn't waiting for a perfect you. It's waiting for a willing you, someone who's willing to do the work, face the discomfort, and grow through the process. This journey isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be worth it, because when you look back, you won't just see how far you've come. You'll see how much you've changed. You'll realize that everything you went through, every hard decision, every disciplined day, every moment of growth, it was all building something inside you. Something unshakable, something unstoppable, something that prepared you to walk boldly into the future you were created for. So don't resist the growth. Don't fear the process. Don't retreat when things get hard. Lean in, because the person you're becoming is the person your future demands.